This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Yeah, we're actually here on a Thursday. It's going to be a shortened program. One of our guests had to cancel on us at the last minute, but we'll talk about that here momentarily. Our program today being brought to you today by Mondello's Pizzeria, 778-6068 for takeout, or come on by and go to the takeout window at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And again, they have some patio seating outside for you to enjoy that delicious Paisan cuisine, whether it's pizza or their delicious sandwiches, their calzones, their stromboli, or even their delicious pepperoni rolls. Joe has been at this a long time, 5th decade in business, and again, come on by for Paisan cuisine at its finest. Family-owned, family-operated, Mondello's Pizzeria. First Tier Bank's right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, 632-3500. And again, with the interest rates being really low right now, you still can get some good CD specials with some good maturity rates. So you got to talk with the folks over at First Tier Bank more about that. And again, banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service, you always first and foremost, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Auto Glass and Detail Center at 617 Pershing Boulevard. And, of course, the Auto Body Shop right there at 1020 Dunn Avenue. Family-owned, family-operated, and, again, all work done on site, right at both locations. Get it back almost showroom new, whether you have it done at the Auto Glass and Detail Center or you have it fixed up at the Auto Body and Paint area. Lennox Auto Body is here to serve you. 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, 638-6468. Remember that telephone number if you need their service department. Come on by to 714 Central Avenue, your home for Maytag, GE Frigidaire, and Whirlpool, all on the showroom floor. Or if you need to get a television, you know what? They stock the name brands that are going to last. Yeah, you can go to the box store where it's not really built to last, but over at B&B Appliance and TV, their products last a long time. 714 Central Avenue. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs, again, and sundry supplies, too. So come on inside. They're open Monday through Saturday. They're practicing social distancing. Or if you feel you want to still use the convenient drive-thru, you can do so. Next door to Texas Roadhouse, it's Medicare Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range, where we enjoyed a delicious lunch yesterday from Ray and Cindy and the crew over there at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range, across from Powers Field and Menards. Again, 2 convenient drive-thrus. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 7 a.m. until 10 p.m., breakfast from 7 until 10:30. Matter of fact, you can use the convenient drive-thrus or use the Chick-fil-A mobile app, where it will be waiting for you when you head over to Chick-fil-A. And again, a reminder, go to CheyenneChicken.com. They do some great catering. We're getting to that time of year where, you know, you don't want to do all that cooking. We'll let Chick-fil-A come on over and take care of all of the rest for you. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Platte Valley Bank ×2, 778-0021, Vandehigh Avenue, and at the corner of College and Pershing, where right now interest rates at an all-time low. It's refi time, or maybe it's remodel loan time, or auto loan time. See our friends first at Platte Valley Bank. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, 775-0123. Come on to the lot. Test drive the new K5 that is there, or the 2021 Seltos. Boy, the SUV that is really, really making a lot of noise right now. It's that Seltos. And again, my good friend AJ, who we had lunch with the other day, said, they need your pre-owned vehicle. So come on in and get that trade-in to them so they can put you in behind the wheel of the new 2021 or the remaining 2020s on the lot. You can do it online to keyofcheyenne.com. Again, they'll do the buying and leasing process for you all in one fell swoop. Follow all the prompts. They'll even do your trade-in as well, sight unseen, as they'll give you Kelley Blue Book value, and they'll even deliver. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, family-owned, family-operated. And it's scoreboard time. It's being brought to you by the 5 locations of Taco John's of Cheyenne. And again, with today's technology, use the Taco John's app for delivery. Taco John's, South Greeley Highway, downtown KRAE Avenue, Yellowstone Road, Pershing and Ridge, Delrange and Ridge. Taco John's of Cheyenne, our scoreboard sponsor. We go first to Nick and find out what's happening in his world.
Want to at least remind folks coming up tomorrow here on 1480 KRAE, we will have high school action as it'll be week 1, but game number 2 of the regular season as it'll be Cheyenne East playing host in Natrona County. So looking forward to this contest. Both teams with 1 loss. One team will come away with their first victory on the season. Another team will go 0-2 to start out here in 2020. So pregame, 6:15. Kickoff is 7 o'clock. Again, it is the only 7 o'clock game happening in Class 4A. So we have it live from the Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com is where you can hear the contest. And video live streaming completely free. All 5 ways are completely free, but on the video live stream, at least capabilities, Periscope via Twitter at Nick Wild Sports, and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel is how you tune in. And even we'll pull out a plug that, yes, we will be partnering, or at least we should be in the works. Again, I got to figure out the kinks tomorrow morning, but we also, too, may be in the works with the NFHS as well, too, to give you a 6 option if you want to as well, too. But we know how the NFHS, or at least we know it has problems.
Just watch watch us. We do the presentation the way it should be done.
Either way, though, again, as it will be tomorrow, high school football action here on 1480 KRAE. NHL action for tonight, 2 games on the slate. 5 o'clock on NBC Sports Network, live from Toronto. It will be the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the New York Islanders, where the Islanders do lead that series 3-2. And at 7:45 on NBC Sports Network, live from Edmonton, Alberta, it will be the Vegas Golden Knights, my Vegas Golden Knights, taking on the Vancouver Canucks, where Vegas does lead that series 3-2. So that's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
Gosh, I hope it's Vegas and the Avalanche in the Western Conference Finals. That'd be great.
We'll see. Again, they got to now win Game 7, at least for the Avs.
And Vegas has got to win Game 6 or 7. All right, let's go to Major League Baseball. Bottom of the 8th inning at Minute Maid, with the Astros leading by the count of 6-4 over the Rangers. Bottom of the 3rd inning, the Phils leading the Nationals 3-2. End of 2 at New York. This is a makeup from August 23rd, as they're at Citi Field. Yankees are leading the Mets 4-1. Pirates have defeated the Cubs today at PNC 6-2. On tap in the 5 o'clock hour, Padres at the Angels at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. It will be the Blue Jays and the Red Sox at Fenway. Kauffman Stadium in the 6 o'clock hour have the Royals and the White Sox. 7:40 Diamondbacks and the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, and wiped out because of COVID-19 concerns more on staff than players. The Athletics and the Mariners. That makeup date is slated for September 26th. On to the National Butthead Association. Let's see what they're doing on the floor tonight. Well, they're going to actually play Celtics and the Raptors. This will be Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex at Lake Buena Vista, Florida. Celtics-Raptors, Game 3. Boston leading this best-of-7, 2 games to none. Oh, by the way, the Raptors are the defending NBA champions. And at 7 p.m., it's nice to see that they moved on to the Western Conference semifinals. It will be the Nuggets and the Clippers, Game 1 of their Western Conference semifinals. That gets underway at 7 p.m. Our scoreboard being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Now, we do have a change in programming for today. We were slated to have head volleyball coach at LCCC, Carrie Coach, join us, but at the last minute, a meeting came up where she had to commit to. So, again, she apologized for not being here. But with that being said, we move up on the roster. One of our interviews that we had earlier today, we'll talk with Casper Natrona head coach Steve Harshman as they prepare for the East High Thunderbirds. And again, we'll check in on that conversation after this timeout. And again, our scoreboard brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents the most satisfying burrito ever. Challenge. We challenge you to find a burrito as big on flavor as the new Boss Burrito or Bowl, with over a pound of grilled chicken and cilantro lime rice. And we also challenge you to find it for less than $6. Go ahead. We'll wait. The new $6 Boss Burrito or Bowl from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download the Taco John's app today for even more exclusive deals. Crunching.
Family owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean, at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 30 years. With their fine expert doctors, along with their highly trained staff, they will provide top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate expert urinary care. That's 635.
You get everything you want with the new 2020 Kia Forte. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne. And this sport compact sedan has advanced technology, sleek styling, awesome connectivity, and plenty of space for passengers. The new GT line provides an available 201 horsepower turbocharged engine for responsive acceleration, quick shifting, and even more fun at the wheel. See the Forte today at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Is the touchscreen on your phone or tablet cracked or broken? Buying a new device could cost up to $1,000. Or you could let the local experts at High West Digital Solutions save you hundreds of dollars. We can replace your touchscreen in as little as a day, and your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
At Platte Valley Bank, you might be staying a little closer to home these days. Whether you're across town or at the grocery store, we offer free ATMs wherever you go. We know you work hard for your money, so we wouldn't expect you to give it away in ATM fees. Free ATMs, just one of the perks of banking with us. Stop by and talk to one of our friendly associates to discuss what else Platte Valley Bank has to offer, or check out our website at www.pvbank.com.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 81 and winds out the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. If it's tonight, it'll be clear skies with lows around 50. On Friday, it'll be sunny with highs around 87. And on Friday night, it'll be clear skies with lows around 54.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Right now, we're talking with our opposing coach segment, and it is Steve Harshman once again from the Casper Natrona Mustangs as they will take on the East High Thunderbirds tonight. Coach, real quick, looking back at last week, and I had the opportunity to call that game with the Mustangs and the Cheyenne Central Indians. Indians came out pretty strong on the first couple of drives, but one of the things I appreciate about your football teams, you can make those adjustments on the fly, and you got things in order a little bit. You shut them down, and you kind of took control, especially all the way from about the second quarter through most of the third quarter. But again, looking back on that particular game, some of the highs and lows. Tell us a little bit about the positives that you saw in that contest.
Well, I think you said it. I mean, I think we bounced back quickly. I think, you practice, you talk about game speed, and you try to simulate it. But once you get in that first game and you're a kid who was playing sophomore football last year and this is your first varsity deal, it's way faster. And I think particularly those two big plays that caught us off early that, set up scores or scored, it's just bad angles on our part. And where I think not bad in that they didn't know what to do and they didn't try to do it, is just wrong speed, and so they quickly adjusted, our guys did. But I tell you, Central's got a nice football team. I like the way our guys battle back. I'm sure Central and us are both saying, hey, too many turnovers. We got to clean it up because they had some, we had some. We were down the 8-yard line, came away with nothing, fumbled the ball. So all those kind of things. But, I think that's part of it. We got better as the game went on, and I think we'll get a lot better this week as well, and we're going to have to because certainly East has got a nice football team.
Coach, you look at your quarterback, Harrison Taubert, and again, does a good job back there, and similar to the Cummins kid for Cheyenne Central, a couple of bad decisions, I guess you made by your quarterback. But did you feel in that particular ball game, or do you give him kind of carte blanche? It looked like he was trying to carry too much of the world on his shoulders.
Well, I think he's going to have to carry a big load for us, but I think that's part of that thing is timing too. And some of it's coaching. You look at it, you see, geez, we got to do a better job of getting this tightened up and this worked on. And, we missed some wide open guys in the end zone. We missed 2 certain touchdowns. and we'll clean all that stuff up. It's just practice and keep working at it. But yeah, he's going to have to be a big part of our offense, no doubt about it, and defense in certain situations.
You know, a couple of kids that come to mind, and again, too, if you can get that balanced attack with Taubert and whoever will run in the backfield. You know, I'll use Bundy, who did most of the workload in the second half, but a couple of kids on the outside, Kelly and Douglas. It looks like you got to get the football to those guys more often.
Yeah, I think, Robert Douglas, one of the fastest kids in the state, and Kobe's got, really nice ball skills, and they're just continuing to improve too. And you're right, a couple guys are a little bit wounded right there that we got to get back, and same in our running back spot. But you're right. I mean, that's all part of it, and we tried. We overthrew them a few times, missed them a few times, but it's coming. It's a timing thing, and guys are getting better every day. That's key to it.
Coach, we always talk in basketball season, it's not how you play in December, it's how you play in March. Well, like you talked to me last week, you said, hey, you come right into the fryer right away with Cheyenne Central and Cheyenne East back to back. Again, if you happen to fall to the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds at the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex, going 0-2, is that kind of time to panic a little bit, or it's time to circle the wagons?
Well, I'm never going to panic, because I don't think that that does anybody any good anytime. But I think the big deal, obviously, we've circled the wagons. I mean, it's go time. We got to really improve a lot. And I tell you, Cheyenne East and us are both in the same boat. And one of us is going to be 0-2. And not that you're not going to bounce back, can't win it all. It's just going to have to do it on the road, and this football playoff thing is so important. It's not like a regional basketball tournament where, maybe one team, but football, that home field advantage is a big deal. And having that throughout the playoffs is big. So, that's a big thing for us. We're going to have to really, it's a big week. And, the old saying, Marv Levy, coached the Buffalo Bills to 4 Super Bowls. He said, he's a World War II vet. He said, World War II is a must-win, but this is important. So it's not a must-win, but it's important, no doubt about it.
Final thought, Coach, and again, appreciate you joining us here on our pregame show. You take a look at the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds. They have some similarities to Casper, especially on the offensive side. And again, like your quarterback, Harrison Taubert, Graydon Buell, he's been now with the East program for 3 years. He is starting to show that he is that team leader on the offensive side, a veteran offensive line. Similar to Cheyenne Central, they're going to pose some problems whether they run the football or whether they throw it.
Well, I'd tell you, Graydon Buell is, he started at Rock Springs as a freshman. He's never played freshman sports or sophomore JV. He's been the guy from day one since he's like a 14, 15-year-old. And you can just see his thing. I mean, the game is so slow for him. He's got that thing slowed down, and he's extending plays, and he's reading it. And when you get to that level where everything slows down and you can really decipher it and make the plays, extend plays, that's where he's at. He's as good as any I've seen. And then he's got a kind of a deceptive speed and strength to him. He'll outrun you. He'll make a cut and outrun you. And you think you got him, he'll be hanging on him, and he'll throw the ball 40 yards downfield. And so he's got a strength and a power to him physically as well. And so, yeah, he's the real deal. And, so it's a big part of their team, no doubt about it.
And then flipping it over on the other side, defensively, they're pretty active, especially with their backers. Again, you might get through the interior line, but those backers are pretty active and a decent secondary.
They are decent. And I tell you, their defensive end, 75, he's a good player. And they got a lot of good players coming back. I think their linebacker core, as you mentioned, a couple of those guys are back. And so they're solid. I think, Central, East, Thunder Basin, Sheridan, ourselves, and whoever else, probably Rock Springs is in the mix. There's probably more parity, and it's getting closer every year. And I think that's a good thing, You used to talk about the Big Four. I think there's probably 6-8 teams now in the middle of that thing. And I tell you, Gillette's coming. Campbell County High School, they took it on the chin when they split, but got a nice coach. They got time is work through those middle schools. The schools are, they're in there, not a triad like you guys, but they've got their schools set up, and that's all starting to come back. So it's going to get really competitive. I think that's really fun. So you got to be on top of it every week. All right, great. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That's Casper Natrona Mustangs head coach Steve Harshman on our pregame show. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, Chad Goff, the head coach of the East High Thunderbirds. He's up next right after this on 1480 KRAE.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480KRAE.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. This week, Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Crown Royal Original, Apple, or Vanilla Canadian Whiskey, 750 milliliter bottles, $17.99. Keystone Light or Ice, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $18.99. And Tito's Handmade Vodka, 750 milliliter bottle, $16.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store. Not only do we offer several major brands, we also service what we sell. And we have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts and service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
To head coach Steve Harshman of the Casper-Natrona Mustangs.
Don't be alarmed where you said, hey, we got Chad Goffo coming, or you said, hey, this morning, all this other.
That's part of my pregame show.
Yeah, so again, you'll hear those elements as we've been playing throughout this week. And again, it's a consistent theme as we've done in the years past here on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We'll play those elements, but again, you'll hear it also through game day on Friday for those who do not tune in for Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Again, they will be at least on repeat for those who did already hear it throughout the week.
Those were pre-recorded for release at a more convenient time.
Yeah. So,
all right. Again, Mustangs and the Thunderbirds tomorrow, our featured game. We'll be on there somewhere around 6:15, 6:20.
Battle between number 4 and 5, where East and Natrona both took a tumble due to the fact that they both lost at least last Friday. So East, your number 4 team in Class 4A. Natrona, your number 5 team. The team that jumped up at least in two that jumped up significant spots, one being Central. They moved up to number 2. Thunder Basin is now your number 3 team, and at the top is Sheridan at number 1. For me, personal vote, I put Central as the number 1 team. I thought Central was more impressive. I think they are. And again, polls as of right now, who cares? It doesn't mean anything. It's not going towards college football playoff or anything similar to that. It's more so just kind of fun little talking points for us or whoever's out the state of Wyoming. But I as of what happened this past weekend, what impressed me more, again, Central deserved to be that number 1 team in Class 4A. On the road, getting it done against a very tough, top of the heap, at least opponent being Natrona County. Sheridan's win at home against Laramie, didn't really do anything. You expected that, and they weren't really tested.
Yeah, and again, as the
Sheridan,
they shouldn't get tested this weekend either.
Unfortunately, they're not going to get tested as they'll be on the road, going down to Cheyenne. All 3 Cheyenne schools at least in town this weekend. South at home taking on Sheridan. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff there from Fighting Bison Stadium. East, again, as we mentioned, 7 o'clock, the lone 7 o'clock kickoff. They will be hosting Natrona County, and Cheyenne Central will be taking on Casper Kelly Walsh. That's going to be an interesting one. That will be an interesting one to see what the Trojans are made of. Was that more so a dominant win over a weak South team, or is Casper Kelly Walsh a team that's that dark horse, as we talk about, that could surprise folks? We'll see. That's going to be an interesting. I don't think it's going to be. I think Central takes care of business pretty handily.
You would hope, especially at home.
But again, who knows with Casper Kelly Walsh?
And again, too, with Andrew Cummins, the new quarterback for Cheyenne Central, another week of practice to get himself a little more acquainted with the offense, and again, even though he threw four interceptions last week, again, still engineered that offense, and a couple of times where he took his eye off the ball and almost disaster. But I think he'll be a little more comfortable, and being at home will make all the difference in the world. Casper Kelly Walsh, I'm still not sold on them yet.
Yeah, they're going to get tested here this Friday, and I don't think they're going to pass that test against Cheyenne Central. I think Central wins pretty handily in that game.
But Central can't take them lightly either, like you said earlier.
No, they can't take them lightly. No, Casper Kelly Walsh can be, again, you saw in their offense that they can pour it on, albeit against Cheyenne South. But we'll see what happens this Friday. Again, if we're going pick'ems here, and we might as well just kind of spitball on that, where, again, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Again, on the pro level, we still got the playoffs, but, again, Major League Baseball and college football, that stuff. But look, at least focusing here on the state of Wyoming. Central versus Kelly Walsh, again, I'll say Central wins pretty handily in that one. South versus Sheridan. Sheridan, that should be a running clock over there at South High, unfortunately, in favor of the Bronx. Looking at Laramie at home hosting Campbell County. I give advantage to the Camels on that one. They should win. That might be a close game.
Well, Coach Harshman said, this is a very much an up-and-coming program.
As I've told you.
So, again, and this, since this is the fourth year now that Thunder Basin's been in operation. The deal with Campbell County is that now their middle schoolers are now getting into that high school range, so they're having that opportunity to work within the system and be ready to go.
And the interesting fact for week 1 here, game number 2 of Class 4A, is every team that was hosting games last week are now on the road, so they flip-flop. So, again, you don't have a team that is back-to-back home games. That'll start picking up here at least throughout the middle part of the season. But, again, every team that was at home hosting now is on the road. That includes Thunder Basin, who makes a long trip to Rock Springs. That is also a very intriguing matchup. Is Rock Springs, are the Tigers for real? Is Thunder Basin for real?
Is
the Thunder Basin win at home impressive over Cheyenne East? Is it something that the Bolts are to be respected? And they will be if they defeat Rock Springs on the road.
At Rock Springs, and I don't think they will. I'm gonna go with Rock Springs. I think we're underselling the Tigers. I think they're a lot better.
Or you could be underselling Thunder Basin.
No, Thunder Basin's good. I'm not. It's going to be a close contest there, but
it's impressive what they did at home, albeit it was at home. Now they're tested a long road trip again, going all the way the length of the state from top to bottom, or at least from south to west. I think Thunder Basin in that game on the road, I still think they can get it done against Rock Springs.
And I want to mention Thunder Basin in their third year of operation. I think, again, with Thunder Basin, and they still had, even though they graduated quite a few folks, they still had a good nucleus in that junior class. But Rock Springs showed me a lot when they were down here last year.
Yeah.
And again, I was a young team. So it's not like they graduated, the entire squad. They're going to be pretty formidable. And again, I told you that as we were getting into the season back before week 0. Hey, I said, watch out for this team. You thought, and matter of fact, I told you they would win. You said, oh no, they're going to lose at Campbell County. This is a much improved team. I think they'll be a top 5er before the season's over.
To be determined. I think where you're seeing the top 5 as of right now, I think it's going to stay. And again, you're going to see that shifting up and down between
one of
all
these
5.
teams is going to drop out of the top 5 in our game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to be 0-2 tomorrow.
Again, if Rock Springs goes 1-1, yeah, possibly move them up. But again, who knows? Again, if I were voting, where say for instance East goes 0-2, Rock Springs is 1-1 against Thunder Basin, I'd still probably find a way to put East as number 5 team due to the fact that they've been tested twice.
I know, but it depends on the loss. So if they get blown out tomorrow,
but again, here's my reason though with Cheyenne East. If they go 0-2 coming up on Friday, where they've seen 2 good opponents, Natrona County and Thunder Basin, albeit again away and on the road. For Rock Springs on the road against Campbell County, it doesn't really move the needle for me, where, again, Campbell County is not one of those top-tier teams right now in Class 4A. And if you were to lose at home, and again, where you got the advantage of a long, long road trip for Thunder Basin all the way down from Gillette to make that halt to Rock Springs, if Rock Springs loses at home against Thunder Basin, again, they should have umpteenth amount of advantages against Thunder Basin coming up on Friday with just the road trip and everything, being at home for this contest. That's why, I would justify that reason of you had a chance. Rock Springs, you don't have an impressive win as of right now. You've been tested against Thunder Basin, but again, it was at home. You still, if they were to lose to them, that's how I would probably keep Rock Springs out even with a 1-1. But again, the polls really don't mean it.
No, I don't mean squat.
It's a fun little talking point. And again, will it reflect the playoffs coming up, or at least will these top 5 teams that are right now in it, again, East, Central, Natrona, Sheridan, and Thunder Basin, will they be those top 5 seeds coming up in the playoff time? There's a very good possibility.
But you got to remember this too, though, Nick. The team with the best record is going to be the host of the state championship this year. It's not Laramie. So the key here is you got to run the table.
Well, it's not. All right. To be fair, again, if Sheridan goes undefeated in the regular season but finds a way to exit out in the playoffs, again, it goes to the next best record who hosts that game, as we've seen in years past. So again, East could easily host it. Cheyenne Central. So again, regular season now matters a hell of a lot to these teams. Where again, you do have that shot to. Again, no longer neutral side at War Memorial Stadium. Instead, no, you get your fans. And hopefully by that time coming in November, especially with the possibility of vaccination now, at least anticipating here in the month of October now. Again, you're seeing the CDC come out with their stats of how non-lethal this virus is as of now. You wonder by that time, that restrictions get a little bit more relaxed here in the state of Wyoming, where that 1,000 grows into possibly 2,500, 5,000 fans in attendance in outdoor events. Who knows what that possibility could be? And I think that could be an easy reality. So that makes it more crucial for these teams where every game matters. You need those wins.
Yeah.
And to have that shot to host, and especially if you make it that state title game, instead of if it's East versus Sheridan, hey, you'd rather play at Cheyenne East than not make that long road trip in November all the way up north to Sheridan.
Well, in talking with both coaches, Chad Goff yesterday as well as talking with Coach Harshman today, Chad tried to tell his team, hey, week 0's over. We have to go 1-0. We have so again, it's looking at a game,
which
again
is a philosophy with any team.
Yeah, but then again too with Coach Harshman, and I brought that question up to him too. Hey, and I didn't want to use the word panic, but this would be concerning for Casper Natrona, and he also mentioned that as well. You go 0-2 to start off the season. Again,
it's not panic time.
Well, no, but if you go 0-2, it's going to be pretty hard for you to host.
You run higher risk, of not hosting later playoff games, if not first-round playoff games. So you do run that risk. But, again, anything is possible. Anything and everything is possible. Again, of how there is no one top dog team right now that stands out to me in Class 4A that could run the table.
I disagree. You first off, you have to look.
Central and East could easily beat Sheridan. And again, looking where
I don't say easily.
I think they absolutely can.
I think you're way off.
Well, again, we'll see because that's coming up in week 2, where Cheyenne Central goes on the road to Sheridan. Where again, I'm not going to say that they cruise in a win, and maybe that's what you're taking wrong from at least my statement. But again, I'm saying that Central could defeat Sheridan.
They have a possibility of winning. But one thing, if you go
East could easily beat.
You go look at the record of the Sheridan Broncs at Homer Scott Field. You want to talk about a house that's tough to win in? Many teams have gone to Sheridan with great credentials like Central and have not won. And again, you got to stop that offense. That offense is one tough thing to stop. Now, again, I will give Central their credit. They've got a great linebacking core, that 4-3 defense. They got a great corners and safeties. You look at Talich, you look at Dilly back there, Lobatos in the linebacking core. This is a different Central team that's going up. Do I expect them to win? I would hope they can win.
I don't think it's a question of hope. I think it's a possibility. It's a realistic possibility that they could. Again, for Sheridan, looking at, again, you get your kind of powder puff teams out of the way, so to speak, with Laramie and South here.
They haven't been tested in the first 2 weeks.
Week 0 and week 1, but then it ramps up for Sheridan where, yes, they will be at home hosting Central. They do go on the road against Rock Springs. This will be interesting. That's going to be another interesting one where the Tigers could easily spoil that Sheridan team in Rock Springs. Next week, you'll be at home there in Sheridan taking on Cheyenne East. So, again, 2 Cheyenne schools have to go up to Homer Scott Field to see that Bronx team.
Right.
Again,
they get tested, yeah. They get a couple, like you said, a couple.
Boise State at the blue turf, yes, as much as they're tough to beat out there, teams have done it before.
Yeah, I'm not
and could easily do it again.
I'm not saying they wear an S on their chest. I'm just saying to win at Homer Scott Field, you have to play
for Sheridan here
perfect.
in 2020, as they are not that top-tier team, or at least they do not stand out to me that it's a team that can run the table here in 2020. I think it's very from number 1 to number 5 right now in the polls as of right now. They could easily beat up on each other.
Well, see, and I add Rock Springs 1-6.
And we'll see.
And again, if Rock Springs beats Thunder Basin,
this Friday,
then I guess it'll make you a believer.
Yeah, we will see on that one. But again, Sheridan does not stand out to me that they run the table, they cruise, or at least they find a way to pull off victory after victory and to go undefeated in the regular season here in 2020. I just don't foresee it. They're going to trip up maybe once or twice.
Yeah,
I don't think they go undefeated.
They did last year. Now,
and again, it leaves that opportunity for Central, for Cheyenne East, even if they are 0-1 right now. But again, if Cheyenne East can rattle off a few wins and find themselves at the top of the heap, they can still be there with Sheridan. And if they get that tie-breaking win, so to speak, against Sheridan on the road, that game coming up in week 4. So quite some time before those two match up. But it'll be interesting. How I see 2020 Class 4A football is it is any given Friday, any team could play spoiler. Outside of, unfortunately, again, nothing against Laramie, nothing against Cheyenne South. As of right now, what we saw this past Friday, I'll toss in Campbell County. I think the Camels could play spoiler once in a while, maybe 1 or 2 games against some of those top 5 teams, top 6 teams, possibly. I don't have a whole lot of confidence after what we saw this past Friday, but right now it is pretty much anyone's chance to host the first round or at least be that number 1 team. Natrona County could easily do that. We've seen that Mustangs team find a way to dig themselves out of going 0-1, possibly 0-2,
and I have
rattling off 6 straight.
I have a lot
wins.
of respect for the Mustangs. I don't think that was your state champion.
No, I don't.
I don't think they're going to be back at the dance this year. That's just my opinion.
I wouldn't deny. I would not say that they can't.
Well, I'm not saying nobody's saying they can't. I just, again, after seeing what I saw,
it's pretty much
the
of
field,
who cares right now in August and September. Yes, it does matter towards those seedings and that potential home field advantage. But for Natrona County, it is a team that breeds off of what do we do in October, November.
Yeah, but
again,
too, just like you're mentioning,
as
East
long
and Central,
if we limp into the playoffs for Natrona County, once they get into the playoffs, they turn it to a next level.
Okay, but they still have to play the likes of East tomorrow night. They still have Thunder Basin. They still have Rock Springs, and they still have Sheridan to contend with. They already lost.
And they could contend with all of them.
They already lost to one of the top tier teams. They lost.
And they let that
Indians
slip out of their hands
at home.
Okay, so but again, they let that slip out of their hands. Where at a point in time, as I told you, coming out of halftime, they rattled off 3 straight and took the lead in that contest.
Yeah,
where they slowed down Central. They took Central completely out of that game until
Central hurt themselves.
And again, Natrona also, too, let's point out, in that contest, they were their own worst enemy, especially that tail end of the game. Again, we'll go spotlight the running back who caused that fumble. Again, the INT, the pick 6 as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
Natrona County shot themselves in the foot in that contest to end out that game.
And again, like Coach Harshman said, he's got a couple of injuries that he needs to bounce back from. But the point is, they lost at home. Now you got to go on the road. It's tougher to go on the road.
And they can easily beat East. How many times have they
you keep saying the word easily. They can't easily beat East. They got a shot.
So you're too focused on the verbiage then.
No,
okay,
I'm just saying they got a shot.
Get out of your head then that Natrona County could beat East this Friday.
They could.
They have a legitimate shot.
Again, as I saw last week, I don't think they can. I don't think they can beat East at home.
Then what are you going to say Monday, at least Tuesday next week, if Natrona pulls off the victory?
Then I'm going to sit here with egg on my face. But I think I've called a few
I don't think you can deny that the Mustangs can't come down here to shine and beat East.
I've seen a lot more high school than you, and I can tell you, this Natrona team that I saw Friday night against Central, yeah, albeit that they rallied back, but I don't think this is one of their better teams. Central's got a very good football team, which is going to get better. And that's all dependent on Andrew Cummins. If he feels more and more at home at that quarterback position, that's a very dangerous offensive team where they could score on every possession. Okay? Cheyenne East,
to be determined.
Cheyenne East with Graydon Buell, who's in his 3rd year at the helm for Cheyenne East. You got Hesford, you got Jake Rail back. I'm telling you, they are, and the offensive line is a veteran offensive line. Their defense is pretty good too. They made a couple of mistakes at Thunder Basin. That's what cost them the game. If they are mistake-free against Casper Natrona,
couldn't you bring up the same argument for the Mustangs, who were let's see, 6 turnovers, six blown opportunities, 3 INTs,
and then
a pick 6, a couple fumbles as well too. That team plays clear this past Friday. If they avoided that, they would have won against Cheyenne Central.
Again,
without a doubt.
Talent-wise, if you're going to look at it on paper, I got to roll with East.
If you want to play that game, that argument with Cheyenne East, you could do that with Natrona County. If they play a turnover-free game coming up this Friday here in town, they can beat Cheyenne East.
And I don't think they will.
They had opportunities to close out that game this Friday and get that win at home, the come-from-behind victory against Cheyenne Central. Let's not forget, they had the lead. They sucked up all the momentum away from Cheyenne Central. The Indians looked like they were just gassed out in that 3rd quarter and heading into the 4th.
You look at Harrison Talbert. He's a good quarterback. I think he's a step behind Buell. I think Graydon's Graydon's going to be the top quarterback in this conference. And he's got a stable of receivers to throw to. He could take the ball. As Coach Harshman said, he's deceptively fast.
Not going to hand the crown immediately to Buell. I think he's one of the top. He can be that top, if not number 1 in Class 4A. But if Cummins, with the amount of weapons that he has for Cheyenne Central, he could easily make it. If he gets things figured out, as he will throughout this season, he perfects that game, And with the weapons that he has, we could easily be making the argument for him come at least towards playoff time, saying that this is one of the best quarterbacks in Class 4A.
And
I think you saw stints that he has the talent. And whether it was nerves, whether it was, again, 3 weeks into a new system with Cheyenne Central, where, again, fresh into it, still learning the system, maybe he feels a little bit more comfortable, and he will eventually throughout this season. But when he gets to that point, though, could he be that talent-wise that leads or at least is a great and Buell level, or if not, even better?
Well, and again, too, we already know he's got a strong arm.
I think he could.
He threw that ball 45 yards.
I think, again, his advantages is he has so many weapons. All you got to do is just toss out that ball. Hopefully that, again, Storbo twins, Talich, Johnson grabs that football, and again, basically helps your job.
And the thing is, too, with that long pass that he threw that Johnson hauled in, that was 45 yards.
Yeah.
And again, he showed his arm strength, so you cannot sit back on Cheyenne Central hoping that they're going to do a little fire up to Brock or Brady Storbo, or a little out to Talich or Johnson. Hey, they can go deep on you,
It's a multi-dimensional team, without a doubt.
And look on your schedule there when East and Central play.
That'd be week 6.
Week 6, so that'd be the 7th game of the season.
And that would be game at risky.
And there's a very good possibility, and I'm just throwing this out there, there's a very good possibility that Central could head into that contest 6-0. East could be 5-1. A very good possibility.
Looking at Central's upcoming schedule, if you're going to say if they're going 6-0, the tough ones are on the road at Sheridan. That is week 2. Week 3, you do host Thunder Base at a game that we will have on 1480 KRAE. Week 4, on the road at Cheyenne South. You should win that one. And then the next week after that, before the East Central matchup, they'll be on the road against Campbell County. You do run into Sheridan on the road. Thunder Basin at home, you might get that one, but that Sheridan on the road one does scare me a bit. But not saying that the Indians can't.
No, and I'm just saying,
could they go 6-0? There's a good there's a good chance.
Or they could be, or both teams could be 5-1, and talk about an East Central matchup that really means something this year. I mean, and again, with the significance of this year alone, 2020, as we look down the schedule, and again, just we're playing what if, but if both these teams come in at 5-1, imagine, and you mentioned it too. I would hope by that time maybe the restrictions are lifted, because you sure as hell want that stadium. And I think it's at risky, right?
It's at risky. Week 6, that'd be October 9th. So
and I would hope
over a month away.
I would hope that maybe some of those restrictions are lifted, because you definitely want to get there early and get a good seat.
That's going to be a good matchup, as it always is in years past, but that could be where two powerhouses in Class 4A are matching up there in Week 6, where that's going to determine a lot of factors.
Think back to I think it was your, junior year when you played Central for the championship? Sophomore year. Think back to when they played at the old Loki Blanchard Stadium. Look at how many people showed up for that. And then, of course, the weather.
The fact that, again, it was Cheyenne school.
Yeah, but again, that was a state championship. Imagine.
Okay, but again, it was in Cheyenne between two Cheyenne schools.
But imagine this one here, if the teams both come in with about identical marks. I mean, this is going to be the thing.
It's going to be a marquee matchup. It's going to be a huge game coming up in Week 6, and I think that's going to be no matter what. Even if one team has 2 losses on the slate, if Central, again, goes at 6-0 as you're thinking that they could, which again they can, there's still going to be a good crowd out there. It just depends on, will it be that cap 1,000, or will we have the restrictions eased up by October 9th, again, over a month away? I would hope so. I would think so, that we have a capability, or at least, who knows, maybe the school district could talk, as we got the understanding for the Sean Doobie Memorial Rodeo, that they went to the health officials, they went to the state and said, hey, could we have an addendum to your 1,000 restriction? Can we alter it to fit in a little bit more there at Frontier Park? And they've done that.
And again, I think we'll probably get more of an update here about mid-month. That's usually when the governor kind of gets together and says, hey, we've gone through the numbers and here's what's happening. We do we have one more break left? Yes, we do.
Sure.
Right?
I guess.
Well, before we go, and again, do join us for, I think it's going to be, I don't want to call it a do-or-die game, but it's a very critical game tomorrow night, no matter what, for either team.
It's going to be a game that I think it could easily come down to the last possession.
It could.
between those two.
I'm liking East on this one by better than a touchdown.
I'd pull for Cheyenne East. I would think that the Thunderbirds can get it done. Whether it is that they win by a touchdown or two, for whatever reason, again, my mind has been set for this week as we're sizing up this matchup that East could come away with a 14-point victory. They find a way to just kind of space themselves out late in that contest, get it done against Natrona County. But, yeah, I'd probably favor Cheyenne East to win at home.
My 5 winners this weekend will be Central, East. I'm going with Campbell County. I'm going to go with Rock Springs at home. And then, obviously, the Sheridan-South matchup, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out.
Yeah.
So, all right, real quick here, one last thing before we say adios. And again, do join Nick and myself tomorrow again. And I didn't really say much. If I did, it was very brief. Do watch it. Watch the live stream too. If you can't be out at the game tomorrow, I know parents are going to be there. I was watching that, and it seemed like the quality was so much better. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that things were awful before, but I really liked it, and I've had more people come up to me this week. Matter of fact, when we had lunch the other day, people really enjoyed watching, those that couldn't come to the game. So
we even know local businesses have been putting it on and showing it to their customers. So again, it must mean something if they're doing that and trusting us.
Well,
with
we
that.
appreciate.
And also, too, again, thank you to. Again, at this point in time, I think well over 3,000 viewers on both, at least combined with Periscope and YouTube. So, again, obviously people are tuning in for this, and, again, appreciate everyone that does. Before you get to whatever point you are, I do want to mention as well that we do have other, at least, schools in action here in the county. Again, with Burns, they will be on the road. The Bronx, they'll get underway on the road at Mitchell, Nebraska. So, out-of-state action there in Class 2A, and then looking at 1A 9-man football for Pine Bluffs. Looking at their schedule coming up, at least as I'm not finding it, actually they will be at home hosting Riverside. So Pine at home taking on Riverside. Burns Bronx in Nebraska at Mitchell.
And it's going to be an interesting fit because you've had 11 man, and you dropped to 6 man. Now you're like in between with 9 men. 2 guys are not on the field.
Oh, again, when we talked to Will, however many weeks ago at this point in time, but he said it's an adjustment. It's going to be different losing again that 2 personnel out there. But
I think you lose a lineman, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is a lineman a back or a lineman and a receiver? I'm not sure what
I thought it was a lineman receiver.
Lineman and receiver. Okay, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how 9-man football makes its appearance.
Well, best of luck to all of
them.
them. Again, in 2A for Burns, again, out of conference opponent with Mitchell, Nebraska, and then Pine taking on Riverside at home.
Yeah. All right, the last point I wanted to make, and you didn't get to see him. I did, and he passed away yesterday at the age of 75. Was going through the dementia portion, then also was stricken with COVID. One Tom Seaver. Tom, terrific. Part of that Miracle Mets team in 1969. Again, with that great staff of Nolan Ryan, Jerry Kuzman.
The only time the Mets have been relevant in quite some time.
Well, yeah, they won in '86. Remember, they beat the Boston Red Sox, too.
Yeah, but that was probably the better, most well-known team.
The late Gil Hodges was the manager who took over for Casey Stengel. Again, the Miracle Mets of 1969. Seaver pitched 20 seasons in the majors. Hall of Famer, 311 games. Usually back in the day, the benchmark was winning 300 to get into the Hall. 2.86 lifetime ERA. 12-time All-Star. Struck out 3,640 batters, which currently ranks number 6 all-time. Let's see what else.
As his number retired already by the New York Mets as well.
Number 41. Let's see what else. He, again, got the World Series win with the Mets in '69. I know he was in a couple other World Series as well. I know in '73 against the A's, which they lost, he played in that one. Let's see, he pitched also for the Reds. That was one of the biggest trades in baseball. The Mets trading Tom Terrific to the Reds, and he shined there in Cincinnati. Everywhere he pitched well with the White Sox, and then finishing his career, I do believe, was with the Red Sox. So. Again, he won 20 or more games 4 times, won 3 NL Cy Young awards, 3 NL ERA titles, And 1967, he was the Rookie of the Year, all with the Mets. And again, like you mentioned, his uniform was retired back in 1988, the first such honor given to a Mets player. So again, Tom, terrific, great pitcher. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, the Mets today, in honoring Tom Seaver,
they already did,
because he was dragging his knee. That's how he pitched. You always have his right knee dragging on the hill. Everybody's staying their right knee with the dirt today.
Well, and also too, they at least tip their caps to number 41 there at Citi Field as well too. So kind of class act there by the at least Mets organization and players of the current team. So they've already at least given out their praise to him, or at least remembrance.
And we've had this conversation where we've said, this guy deserves all votes to be in the Hall of Fame. Well, they never gave out every vote to a Hall of Famer. He was one of the top vote getters in his day, 1992.
Your guy that got close to unanimous, or at least
was Rivera.
Yeah,
Mariano and Jeter.
Jeter was, I think, one vote away, or some sort of small percentage.
You're looking at Seaver in 1992 when he was voted in.
And I think Rivera, if I stand
corrected,
he got all. I think he was unanimous. Jeter was close.
But Hall of Fame voting in 1992, 98.8% of the votes to be in the Hall. So. Anyway,
Babe Ruth, again, there's got to be a few others. Nolan Ryan probably had a high percentage. There's guys that stand out that you would think that had a high percentage, or, again, how do you say no? How do you say no to X guy?
Well,
to at least get
and
in the
again,
MLB Hall of Fame?
the thing is,
will there be another player like that in our lifetime? Who knows? Again, as you look at the current swath of players right now, again, and Albert Pujols, when he retires, will he be high 90s? He's a Hall of Famer, but will he get flirting around those kind of high 90s numbers? I don't foresee it. Could a Mike Trout, could an Aaron Judge, depending upon how their careers span out for the next couple, at least decade or so, to be determined. Who knows when you'll see that next kind of superstar, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, some of those top echelon players that are guaranteed Hall of Famers, where how do you say no to this guy?
Yeah, and again, Tom,
Again, of current MLB players, Albert Pujols, I think, is a close guy that could be.
I think he'll be a shoo-in,
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Will he be a first ballot guy? I think you have to. But who knows with these voters? Who knows what the hell they'll do?
Yeah, I'm just trying to look
as
here.
They still drag their feet right now on Barry Bonds and Clemens and everything. It's almost a joke at this point.
I'm just seeing he pitched in 2 World Series. Again, Tom Seaver, 69 and 73 against the A's, and then he pitched with Cincinnati in the playoffs back in 1979. So again,
top of the hour.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I was fortunate in my lifetime to see him actually pitch, live in person. But again, it kind of brings that mortality back to me, as I'm now 63. And seeing these old timers now starting to fall just kind of makes me bummed out a little bit. All right, we do want to wrap things up. Do you have On This Date in History?
I do.
Let's go to On This Date in History. What do you got?
Do you want to at least allude to what we have upcoming here on KRAE?
Yeah, we have the Golden Age of Radio Theater for tonight.
It is the final day.
And from 8 until 9, Gunsmoke. From 9 until 10, it will be the Railroad Hour. There you go. I got that down pat.
Well, you didn't say it, but either way, again, that will be our final night of it this week. Because, again, at least for Friday night, we give that to high school football. On this date in history, we'll go September 3rd. It is 1928. How far we'll go back, where this future Hall of Famer did this for the final time in his career.
1928. So that would be
future Hall of Famer?
Well, it'd have to be either Babe Ruth or Ty Cobb, one of the two.
Choose one then.
Let's see. He would have been 33. That would have been the Babe. So